They knew they would die. There was no escape, no victory waiting at the end, no reinforcements coming over the horizon, just a narrow pass and an army that would never stop. 300 warriors stood in its path, not because they believed they could win, but because someone had to hold the line. When the forces of marched into Greece, the world expected another easy conquest. But what happened at Thermopylae was something far more powerful than victory. Years after the defeat at Marathon, Persia returned, not weaker, but stronger. Under the prepared one of the largest invasions in history, an army drawn from across continents, that disciplined, organized, and relentless. This time, there would be no underestimation. The objective was clear: crush Greece, break its resistance, end the war. And as the Persian forces advanced, the Greek city-states faced a brutal truth that if they fought alone, they would fall. The Greeks could not defeat Persia in open battle, so they chose the battlefield carefully. Thermopylae, a narrow pass between mountain and sea, so tight that only a small number of soldiers could fight at once. Here, numbers meant less. Here, discipline mattered more. Led by, the Greek forces took position at the narrowest point. This was not a reckless stand. It was a calculation. Hold the pass, delay the army, buy time for Greece to prepare, because if Thermopylae fell too quickly, nothing would stop Persia from sweeping across the land. When the battle began, the difference in power was clear. Wave after wave of Persian soldiers advanced into the pass, but the terrain worked against them. They could not spread out. They could not surround. They could only push forward into a wall of shields. The Greek phalanx held firm, shields locked together, spears extended, moving as one. At the front stood the Spartans, elite, disciplined, unbreakable. Each Persian assault met the same result: resistance. The line did not break. The empire could not move forward. Day after day, the attacks continued. More soldiers, more pressure, more force, but still, no breakthrough. Frustration began to grow within the Persian command. Had expected a swift victory. Instead, his massive army was being held back by a narrow pass and a disciplined defense. Power alone was not enough. At Thermopylae, the battlefield itself had become the enemy, and for a moment, it seemed as though the line might hold. Then, everything changed. A hidden path through the mountains, unknown to most, that was revealed to the Persians, a way around the pass, a way behind the Greek lines. The strategy collapsed in an instant. Now, the defenders faced the impossible. An enemy in front, and an enemy closing in behind. There would be no escape. Understood what this meant. So he made a decision that would define the battle forever. He ordered most of the Greek forces to withdraw, to live, to fight another day. But he stayed. With his 300 Spartans and a small group of allies, they remained at the pass, not to win, but to hold for as long as possible. The final battle began. Surrounded, outnumbered, and fully aware of their fate, they fought until the line was broken, until their weapons failed, until there was nothing left. And one by one, they fell. Thermopylae was a defeat. The pass was taken. The Persian army moved forward, but something had changed. The story of the stand spread across Greece, of warriors who did not retreat, of a king who chose to stay, of a line that held against impossible odds. It was not a victory of territory. It was a victory of will, because while Persia had won the battle, it had not broken the spirit of Greece. And the war was far from over, because what came next would decide the fate of empires. If you want to see how Greece fights back, how strategy turns the tide against overwhelming power, make sure you subscribe, because the next battle changes everything.